For the last time, if you ever tell me how I should run my show, I'll string you up by your toes and feed you to the masses who would like to rip you apart for being a traitor to my new world order. Now I have to get back to work. And I suggest you do the same, Patricia.
Good afternoon, my pets. I hope you've all been doing well since our last broadcast here on C101.3, Voice of a Generation. It's been just a short while, and this overlord needed a bit of R&R. You understand, don't you, lovelies? I know you are all dying to know where I've been. Some of you literally so. I've received thousands of letters from fans during my vacation, and don't you worry, we will be reading some of those later on in another segment of today's broadcast. But first, I want to tell you about my marvellous trip to the luscious Caribbean Isles. The warm sun, the crisp blue waves kissing the beaches of the island. Oh, I would have stayed if I could. But it was you, adoring lot, and my determination to spread my word and my love to all of you that brought me back to beautiful New London. I even brought back a few souvenirs from my vacation. Well, I tried to, at least. But you know how living things need air to breathe. Guess the flight crew didn't think of everything when he packed away my poor widow monkey Humphrey. At least I still have a piece of him here with me on my desk. Oh well, I must say I did receive a gorgeous new tan. Really brings out my eyes. Other than the magnificent views, my favourite part of the trip had to be the mouth-watering delicacies from all of the 5-star restaurants I visited. The seafood was divine, and I had cocktails that tasted like a rosy sunset. My favourite restaurant had to have been Le Cheval Dansant. Their specialty was filet mignon, and let me tell you, I have never put a more tender piece of meat in my mouth. And the waiters there were so polite, I only had to use the voice of God once to get faster service. That's practically unheard of. I also experienced waterboarding for the first time ever. And no, it's not what you think. Apparently, you can rent this quaint little hovering watercraft that mimic the feeling of a real jet ski. As you might know, jet skis are ancient relics from the time before the banding, and they were supposedly quite riveting. If I could, I would take all of you darlings on your own waterboarding adventure. I can say without a doubt that I enjoyed every moment, although it really did a number on my hair. It just so happens that curls and salt water don't mix. But all of that does not hold a candle to the most interesting part of the trip, my dears. Imagine a nation that completely avoided the fallout of the bombs. No limbless children, no two-headed cats, not even a single creature with a third eye. I suppose with how close the Great Irish Bombing was to us, it makes sense that only the lucky few got to ring in Generation Amiga. And get this, the most unbelievable tidbit about my trip was that there were no radios out on the Isles. And here I was thinking that I would have mobs of fans waiting to greet me and make my stay an absolute delight. It was as if they all thought I was a lunatic when I demanded a chauffeur and a limousine. They had never heard of the name of their beautiful overlord. Me! The one who stopped the Third World War, and what would have been the calamity to end all of civilization as we know it. By everything pink, gorgeous, and... Excuse me, darlings. I still have a bit of jet lag is all. I was expecting a relaxing time from when I set foot out of my plane to when I came home. but I had to use my voice almost every day of the expedition. No radios at all. You should all be happy to know that with a little effort on my part, the Caribbean Isles now share the same viewpoint as the Banded Isles. You can consider yourself all one big, happy, subjugating family. Oh, I so love a happy ending to a story. Don't you? As you all know, this is the part of the broadcast where we interview one lucky fan. If you recall, on the last broadcast, we had Linda, the housewife and mother of 3. She was an avid cross-country skier and very adept due to her 2 extra arms. Today we have Randall, who claims to be my absolute #1 fan. Patricia tells me that Randall has camped outside the studio for 3 whole months, waiting for me to return from my trip. So, Randall, what makes you my #1 fan?
Well, first off, gosh, I'm so flustered. I can't believe I'm sitting close enough to touch you. Yes, but the reason I'm your #1 fan, let's see. I've recorded every broadcast you've ever done. I have 26 posters of you in my bedroom. I have 5 signed copies of your book, It's Not Easy Being Queen, and I have 3 tattoos of you on my body. My favorite one is on my butt. You wanna see?
For the love of Pink, no. I mean, perhaps another time. Now, it must have been hard to camp outside the studio for 3 solid months. That must have been torture. No hot meals, no access to running water, no indoor plumbing. I'm so impressed, Randy. May I call you Randy?
No.
Fine, Randall. Besides your love of body art and your ability to avoid eating cooked meals for 3 months, tell our lovely audience some other interesting facts about yourself. Love.
Let's see. I have a 2-headed cat named Mr. Flufflebuns. He's sweet sometimes, but when he's angry, that's twice the teeth. But I love him because he reminds me of you. Also, I have an interesting mutation.
Oh, so you are part of Generation Amiga. I had no idea. So, tell me, Randall, do you have a special power? A gift for seeing the future, perhaps? Or an extra lobe in your brain? I did hear of a gentleman whose brain grew twice the normal size, and he has since discovered the cure for cancer itself. Although, at this point, I don't know how useful that is after so much radiation from the bombings. What is your fascinating power?
I have 12 nipples. Do you want to see?
Oh, bloody hell. Again, Randall. Maybe another time.
Yes, Overlord Audrey.
So, Randall, 12 nipples. That must be quite a conversation starter.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Randall, tell me, what do you do for a living?
I'm a photographer. Mostly I take pictures of interesting landscapes and animals, and then I sell them to Interesting Landscapes and Animals magazine.
Quite the title. How fascinating! What are your favorite things to photograph?
You?
Me? What do you mean, me? Where do you take pictures of me?
Oh, you know, all of the normal places. Getting in and out of your limousine, at the salon, at dinner with your parents. Oh, I especially love taking candid shots of you when you're walking into your penthouse flat.
Patricia, get this man out of here. Well, it was nice meeting you, darling, but it seems we're out of time for this segment.
What? But we were just getting to know each other. I wanted to show you all of my favorite photos of you.
Randall, it's time to go! And burn those photographs!
Yes, Overlord Audrey.
Sometimes I wonder why I do this. But that's showbiz, and I can't let my loyal subjects down. Now time for my favourite part of the show, reading fan mail. I'm sure I don't need to tell all of you how many letters came in while I was away on holiday, but it practically had to be shoveled in. Let me be the first to say that I love and appreciate all of you dearly. However, if I were to read all of these in just one day, I'd lose my voice for good. Let's take a look at the first of many to come, shall we, loves? I'll just take one at random from the mountain. Gives me terrible flashbacks of paperwork before I hired Patricia to handle all of that for me. Now for a letter from Seymour Butts. Boorish. I can't believe I'm still getting spam mail in 2073. Handwritten, no less. And let's try once more with feeling. Here we are. Randall. Oh, for the love of me. Fine. One last time before I shred the lot of these. There. Benjamin Throckmorton. That's a nice, normal, non-stalker-sounding name. He writes, quite sloppily, I might say. Mr. Throckmorton writes, Dear Audrey, I'm through with this. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. You will refer to me as Overlord Audrey. Patricia, if I don't find a normal letter written by a normal human being in the next 5 seconds, you are fired. 1, 2, 3. There now. See? Even with a back injury, you can still get around, old girl. Don't hobble off like that. It's almost sad. Like a bird flying straight into a freshly cleaned window. So, from the... Lord Thurston Brunswick III. Well now, someone else calling themselves a lord in my world. This ought to be a riot. Dear Overlord Audrey, we of the United Front Against Tyranny, or UFAT for short, order you to step down from your obviously high horse and relinquish the people that you call subjects or pets on your weekly broadcasts. What you are doing to your people is nothing short of slavery, and we cannot sit by and watch you lord your powers over the common masses. Our determination and conviction are only matched by your ruthless and decadent ways. You say that you had a difficult lifestyle during the times of the Third World War, yet you fill the public's mind with grand notions you affected when you decided to rule with a pink iron fist. We have an offer to make. If you cease these messages so that we, the true rulers of this world, can take our rightful place in the upper echelons that were our birthright, we will let you live out your days in solitude, alive, and remembered only for the few good deeds you undertook in a time of great sorrow. You have 1 month to give us your answer in written form. We will not allow you to attempt to corrupt our minds with your venomous words. For the peace of the world, UFAT. Well, this has been a complete bust of an operation, to say the least. If any of you precious loves out there would be so kind as to write me letters from the heart, I would be more than happy to showcase your work here on my broadcast. I might even get Patricia to put up a banner on the holoreel if there are any of you that are skilled with a pen and wanted to offer me tribute. Well, that is all the time that we have for today, my sweets. This has been your beautiful, talented, and partially fed-up overlord here on C101.3, Voice of a Generation. And, say it with me now, prepare to kneel.